So I've got this odd piece of wood here, and there's a story behind this. So a little over 3 years ago, Matt Cremona made operational his big bandsaw mill that he built. And about a month after that, one of the little logs that he cut had this thing on it. He called it this goofy thing.
And then over here is that goofy piece of elm that had this thing going on in it.
And he was throwing it around like it was going to end up in his fireplace. And I was like, I want that goofy thing. And then like a couple months later, this goofy thing showed up at my door. So thanks, Matt. And so I did what any responsible woodworker would do. I put it on top of the CNC, and I left it there. And like every year or so, I took it down, and I looked at it, and I said, "Yep, I have no idea what to do with that." And I put it away. But today, I'm going to do something with it. But you see my problem here, right? It's like 4 feet long, and it's got a hole in it. And like you could put a mirror in there or something, but it's like kind of a small mirror for like a big thing. So like the best thing I've been able to think of is to just like hang it on the wall as a piece of art.
You know what? I was looking at it upside down.
Maybe it has a mirror in it, but I don't know. It's like it's a Matt Cremona goofy thing. I can't just like I got to do something with it, right? It just doesn't seem like I got to do something. So I finally thought of something to do with it, which is I'm going to make a bowl or a platter kind of a thing. So it's kind of long for that. If it was a little longer, maybe it could be like a social distancing kind of platter. Like you put some nachos in here, and then you go out in public and you're like, want some nachos? Then you have to like disinfect it in between each person you offer the nachos to. I don't think that would work. Anyway, so I think I'm gonna have to cut this like here-ish, and then I'm gonna have to do something to fill in the bottom. I want to do some carving on here and get it into like sort of a rough shape before I deal with putting a bottom in here, so I know what I'm kind of getting at. Because like this hole, it like on the back, it's worse. It keeps going up here. And so I need to see exactly what is going to happen with this. I was intent on just removing all of this, but down inside of here, I found this grain that just connects across here. It's almost like a branch inside of it. This thing really is goofy, but I'm kind of in love with it. So now I'm thinking like maybe I should leave this in here. And so I'm thinking I'm going to switch to the ball gouge and try and remove this without destroying this. I can always get rid of it later. I'm going to leave it here for now because this needs some help on the back with epoxy. And don't have epoxy, so we'll come back to it later. My intention was to leave this just the way it is. I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not. So I'm going to have to get epoxy in here, and I don't know if I can do that without, getting epoxy on here and having to do something about that. So, and I don't know, maybe it would look better if it was all carved. It's not like I can carve it and then change my mind and put it back. So we'll think about that. Many months later, not only do I have epoxy and a new place to do power carving so I don't have to drag this thing around anymore, but I've got a 12-inch joiner. I should put off working on projects all the time. Alright, I already do. I need to create a flat area for the bottom to fit into at this end. Since I can't really see what I'm doing at the router table, eventually I switch over to using a trim router from the other side for the inner parts. I also took a little off the lowest part of the branch bridge thing. Now I need to fit pieces to the bridge. Once I get this smaller section done, I'll switch to working from the top. But first I close in the bottom with paper and then tape to seal it. I'm using this sort of stone wall pattern that I've used many times before. I just want the grain direction to be going in a variety of ways, and for there to always be at least a small gap between each of the blocks, so that the epoxy will have no problem flowing around them. There's a spot where the paper is a little buckled up, so I add weight there to push the blocks down. It'll take less time flattening the bottom later if none of them are raised up. On the first epoxy pour, I'm not trying to put in too much. Just enough to cover the bottom. If there are any leaks, then it won't leak as much without all that extra pressure. This should seal everything up for the second pour. Then I added in some dams at either end for the deeper parts. And then one more level to finish it off. I was really afraid I might carve through the bridge and ruin everything, so I was extra careful working down to it. Getting from this point to being finished involved a lot more finding voids and filling them with more epoxy or CA glue than what I'm showing you. Lots of back and forth between filling and sanding. Whew. Got my workout in. Whoa. Look at that. It's about 8 there. 11 and a half at the widest. 10 down there. And what, about 20 long. Yeah, that's a pretty good sized serving dish. Alright, let's see what this thing really looks like. That was terrible. Let's try this again. Wow.
Look at that. Isn't that just beautiful? Look at that color. Wow.